Hey guys, it's Kevin Lawton from the New Warehouse Podcast. I'm here in the Resonant Link booth for our collaborative Power Talks series, and I'm going to be joined now by Grayson Zuloff, who is the founder over here at Resonant Link, and we're going to get the scoop on their wireless charging solution. So, Grayson, good to see you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Definitely. Happy to be here in your booth. Happy that you're hosting while I host you, I guess, on the
We're
podcast.
both hosting.
How we could say that. double host situation here. So tell us a little bit about you, and tell us a little bit about Resonant Link.
Absolutely. So my background's actually in commercial electric vehicles. So I got to build some of the first all-electric garbage trucks, school buses, delivery vans, and really got into wireless charging then. It was like, these school buses you know where they're stopping. They're stopping at the bus stop every day. If we can use wireless charging, can we make them run forever?
Yeah.
And went into my PhD, launched Resonant Link with 3 amazing co-founders, and then we're bringing that exact vision to material handling.
Yeah.
So powering vehicles in the warehouse, lift trucks, robots, making them run 24/7 to get rid of charging downtime.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such a great space to be in because, I mean, we need power, right? We can't run
Everyone
the warehouse
needs
with
power.
no power. We can't run all this equipment that's surrounding us here at Modex needs power, right, to go. So we need to be able to do that. So tell us a little bit about your solution for the material handling industry.
Yeah, so we have the world's fastest wireless charger. Charges batteries in 1 to 2 hours if they're idle, or we can charge in quick 10-second, 1 minute, 10-minute chunks. And really the idea is to make charging fully autonomous and get rid of charging downtime, which means no more battery rooms, no more plug-in charging, no more people walking around thinking, did I plug in the vehicle? Is it going to be ready in the morning?
Yeah.
We want to get rid of all of that. So we think plug-in charging costs our customers about $1 million a year per site.
Yeah.
And it's all these hidden costs. It's your facilities manager walking around at the end of the day for a half hour and plugging in the trucks. It's the technician that shows up with your automated trucks just to plug and unplug them in an otherwise automated fleet. So we think wireless charging, if it's really fast and it's really safe, can solve those power and energy challenges like you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's those kind of little things in between that they just add up over time, and you don't necessarily realize it, but when you start to look at it and calculate it out and see like, oh my God, like you just said, $1 million a year because you don't have wireless charging. I mean, that's crazy, right? Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's about we think it's about 20% of how much it costs to operate a fleet of lift trucks is we can get rid of with wireless charging.
Very interesting. So I'm curious here as we're at the show, and also just in general as you're talking to customers. I mean, what's catching people's attention about moving into wireless charging?
Yeah, I think there's really 2 things. So on the man truck side, it's really getting rid of battery swapping. Yeah. Everyone hates battery swapping. They hate having that separate room that's dirty and gross and takes up 10% of their real estate that could be used for generating revenue, for storage, for real revenue activities. They hate the safety associated. You're really moving like a 5,000-pound rectangular jug of acid, dropping it, pinching fingers, getting acid burns and all of that. And then they hate having to buy double the batteries that they need. Yeah. So with wireless charging and lithium, we can get full uptime for the trucks without having that battery swapping room, without having the people there, without having the injuries associated with it. And that's really what's catching people's attention on the man side.
Yeah, I think that's such an important thing, and even the safety aspect too, I think is huge, right? And
exactly.
That battery swapping, it's, if for anything, like the safety issue there just in general is just a problem and it needs to stop. Right?
It is crazy, when we've gone and talked to our customers, they're like, our number 1 safety issue is battery swapping. That's our number 1 cause of incidents in the warehouse. And then more and more customers have talked about tripping over cables as a big cause of safety incidents, which we did not expect. But it's also been one that we've been hearing, and we have electric vehicle standard object detection on our chargers. So our goal is to be the safest charger, period. Wireless, wired, battery swapping. We just want to be the safest way to refuel your fleet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that makes so much sense. And I think, the cable too, like to cut that cable makes such a difference too as well, not only from, I mean, from the safety aspect, I guess, as you're saying, right? That's surprising to me a little bit too, but even from like just forgetting to plug it in, I think is such a huge deal too.
Yeah.
Because you just lose that time if you don't have that vehicle charged, right?
Exactly, yeah. We were just at a 3PL last week and talking with their facilities manager. He's like, yeah, at the end of every day, I walk around, takes like 30 minutes just to see if the vehicles are plugged in. So we can make sure the vehicles are charged. We have telematics, so you can see that they're charged, and wireless charging is automatic. So as long as you pull up in a foot-by-foot vicinity, you're going to have the vehicle ready to go for your next shift or your next day.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about kind of integrating the charger into your operation. Like, how does that work? What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's super easy. You can retrofit vehicles. It takes 4 screws to mount it on the vehicle and 4 screws to mount the charging station in the floor.
Yeah.
So most of our customers are charging before lunch. We can work with lead acid, TPPL, lithium ion batteries, work with all sorts of different truck types, from tuggers, counterbalance, reach trucks, everything in between. Wow. So it's super easy to integrate, and then to get it operational to site, really we're looking at where trucks already stop during their normal flow of operation, and then we're working with our customers to have wireless charging at those spots so you can get that 24/7 uptime.
Yeah. So now if you look at that versus like a regular charger, right, like a plug-in charger, I mean, you still need to have like, you know, special infrastructure in place, all those different things, or is it a little different?
Yeah, so we can work just with the same 480 volt 3-phase drops that almost everyone has for their wired chargers, and we can throttle up and down the power based on the infrastructure. Long term, we actually want to make infrastructure cheaper to install because we can distribute that charging across time. It's like you're getting charged during your whole shift instead of just at the breaks or just at the end. So you have lower upfront infrastructure costs. Right now, we're doing all retrofits, so we just work with existing infrastructure.
Oh, gotcha. Interesting. So, so if you were to look at maybe a greenfield in the future, like that infrastructure might be a little different. Yeah.
Exactly. We want to make it cheaper on the transformer side, cheaper on everything that you need to install up front, and cheaper on the number of vehicles and the size of batteries you need to buy.
Interesting. Yeah. I think it'd be very interesting to see like how that looks and kind of how that evolves into the future as well.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, because I know one of the big I guess attractions for your solution is that kind of air gap, right? Where you know, kind of how, I mean, when we say wireless, you know, like if I have a wireless phone charger, like
you're right
my
on top.
phone on top, right? But I'm not gonna like, you know, park my forklift right on top of the charger, right? So how does that work? How does it detect all those types of things? Yeah,
so one of the things that our technology really uniquely enables is that big air gap and big misalignment range. So we can do almost a foot of air gap, which is huge, and then a full foot of misalignment, full power in that whole range. And the other wireless chargers on the market, it's about 2 inches by 2 inches. So about that big, which is just unusable with big trucks and really unusable for manned applications. No one wants to park and repark just to get it just right. So a lot of our partners are adopting this because it's so easy, and the parking flexibility is a big reason for that.
Yeah, I think that's huge because it's, you know, not everybody is gonna like, you know, stop on a dime, right?
Exactly. It has to be easier than wired charging. And if you have to stop in that perfect spot, it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we look at Resonant Link, and obviously, you know, it's kind of a little futuristic already, right, with the wireless charging. But as we look towards the future of Resonant Link, what does that look like for you guys? How are you going to continue to evolve?
Yeah, so I mean, as you started out by talking about, like, looking around, it's all about power and energy for this next generation. It's automated and it's great power and energy, and really we're moving in both of those directions. So we want energy to be built into the workflow of every fleet and of every warehouse and every site. So it's taking wireless charging, working on the battery side on the vehicle, working maybe on the storage side off vehicle, and how that's integrated into electricity, how that's integrated into how the fleet works, really how that's integrated into how we can get to this 24/7 lights out operation with energy is a big piece of that warehouse.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great thing too, and I think the flexibility around that and being able to use this charger for multiple different things and multiple different vehicles at the same time, that gives you that flexibility, interchangeability, all those things that you're going to need as we start to grow these warehouses into the warehouses of the future, and all these different things that are going to happen, and all these things that we see around us here at the shop, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious to, from your perspective, aside from obviously you think wireless charging is the most exciting technology out there, right? Right?
Yes.
But aside from that, I mean, what do you think is most exciting in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited to see faster and faster charging batteries. I think there's more and more lithium ion. We've got some ideas for next generation chemistries.
Yeah.
That has to be part of getting more uptime. And then I'm really excited about the tighter and tighter automation solutions as well. I think it's cool to see some of the people you've had on the podcast, Bruce from Locust, who's on our board, Nimble, who was on the podcast. Those are all people that are building that warehouse of the future, and we just want to help solve the energy piece of that.
All right, interesting stuff. Yeah, I think that makes sense, and like to kind of create that ecosphere all around and be able to have everything connected and have everything operating smoothly without any challenges. I think is the ultimate goal, right?
That's the goal for all of us.
Absolutely. So very great to talk to you here, Grayson, and very thank you for hosting me and your
Thanks for hosting me. Thanks so much,
the
Kevin.
double host there. So if people want to learn more about Resonant Link and see the charger and how it works, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, they can go to our website, resonantlink.com. They can come by our booth here at Modex, or they can give us a call or shoot us an email on our website, and we'd love to show them what we can do with wireless charging.
Awesome, definitely. And we'll put all that information in the show notes and in the description of the video as well, so people can easily find it. And I will also say, if you get a chance to grab a Resonant Link t-shirt, they have one of the most clever t-shirts out here, I think, in the industry. For
Second
those about
only
to
to
charge,
yours.
right? Oh, okay. I'll take that. All right. So we'll put all that information out there so people can easily find it. So, Grayson, thank you very much for talking to me today.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
All right.